I was always drawing and painting, and in the 9th grade, I met my friend Toby, and he mentioned this fact that changed my whole life. He said his father was a painter. I thought he meant a house painter, and no, he was a painter. So I was living in this world where I didn't think people were painters. I never heard of it before. And once I heard that it was possible, that was it for me from then on. And it completely, like just filled me with happiness, and I was different.
In Picasso's day, people just didn't understand what he was doing there. How could that be a woman's face? How could that be a portrait of someone? But some artists have really different visions.
It's probably as shocking as maybe a Cubist painting was to a representative painting. It's a different form. It's not for you to sit dumbly and be sort of entertained, It should involve all your senses, and I think that this film grabs you. It seizes your attention.
Both Fred and Renee have got locked in each other's kind of this grip. They are incredibly vulnerable and raw to each other, and it's a place that's very bad to be if you're in a relationship where you're so vulnerable to behavior, innuendo, doubts, all of that. These two people are having a real hard time of it, and it doesn't get rosier.
Jealousy can overwhelm a person, and I think that Fred's character is incredibly jealous. Although he's a man of the 20th century and, in a way, a hip man on the street, and he knows what's happening in the world. So I don't think he would be comfortable expressing his jealousy, because he would feel like he was barbaric.
So how'd you meet that asshole Andy, anyway?
It was a long time ago.
They have a very dishonest relationship. I mean, I think she's in a way very fearful of him. She doesn't know what he's really capable of. He doesn't want to admit who he really is. So they have this stalemate relationship where it's almost like in their marriage you feel that the word divorce is just constantly between them, but it's almost like a standoff of these two animals. Who's gonna leave first?
What do you mean you're where right now?
At your house.
Bill had been playing, recently, such a nice guy, but he has an edge, in there somewhere, and that's what I liked about him. He's the kind of a regular guy, and he's smart, and he could be someone in trouble. And I don't know, it was just something about, I see something in his eyes or something, and he was just right for this part.
Well, just as an actor, there were certain emotional things that people were going through in the movie that on some base level I could understand. There's just this little small clump of human emotions, there's jealousy, envy, pride, whatever they are. So it was interesting to see them. And also that creepy edge was all through it, and that was interesting when someone can really write that. It's like a different dimension.
We have to call the police.
Patricia is a great actress, and she has a tremendous amount of courage. And she kind of had to do things in this picture that were like always, seemed pretty, difficult. She never complained. She was always there, completely, raring to go. She's so beautiful in both roles. her part is so important. I just really appreciated, her attitude, and she just did a great job. It was fun to work with.
Well, at first I thought, am I a figment of someone's imagination? So how am I supposed to get into someone's head and figure out what is that, Because you already have a boundary. You already have a line of demarcation because there's a man writer, a man director. So what is a man's idea of a woman? So you got to figure out, well, each man's idea of a woman is different, but what is this man who's directing this movie's idea of woman? Or when I would talk to David about the differences between these women, he has very distinct feelings about who they are. So I thought, well, I could play one very different than the other one. And that could be really exciting as an actor, to really change the vocal quality of each and change all these, the way they spoke, the way they moved themselves. But he kept saying to me, they are the same person. That they are the same person. So, you're just trying to figure out your way in there. It's a balancing act.
I swear I love that girl to death. If I ever found out somebody was making out with her. Mr. Eddie isn't that far a jump for me to play. The nature of the fellow is quite clear. He's a guy you don't mess with. He's made of concrete. I'd blow his fucking brains out. He tells it like it is. He has a gal he loves to death, and anybody who he found out was making out with her takes a gun out. He said, I'll take this gun, and he's very graphic in what he's going to do with the gun.
I always loved Robert Loggia, and I think here's a guy that is sitting on, a tremendous, power, and a lot of times plays characters that are fairly, calm and nice.
I'm sorry about that, Pete. But tailgating is one thing I cannot tolerate.
I didn't know about Balthazar.
Yeah.
He's got all the stuff, and he had tremendous enthusiasm, just got a great screen presence, and was again perfect for the part.
When you work on a David Lynch movie, you are in his world, and you're trying to understand his image, his vision, and I don't always get it.
If someone said, well, what are you doing? And I said, I'm doing a picture called Lost Highway for David Lynch. Oh, David Lynch. Immediately, and say, well, what's the story? And I said, if I could tell you that, I'd be ahead of the game. It was a matter of deciphering it, actually. It's not something that jumps off the page with a clarion message of what it's about. And the fact that it's mysterious is good. I've been shooting quite a few days. I still don't really know where we're going, which is exciting. And I don't know what the end result is going to be.
There's great sense in the crew that they're working for somebody that has some tangible creativity that, when you shows up on the set, that there's going to be something you want to listen to. He's very curious about the process of making the shot. And I think that makes it exciting, too. He really has a sense between action and cut that there's going to be something that he hasn't planned for, something that's going to be truer to what, more revealing to him about this enigma that he's wrestling with. And that makes it fun.
Once the door opens, it's your invitation, man.
Well, the work should be enjoyable, and actors are asked to let go of themselves and take on some other person. And it's a tricky business, and I don't like anything to interfere with that. So the more at ease they feel, the better. And really good things can happen if the atmosphere is right.
I had to do some very, very intricate pieces, 2 pieces that were really, really edgy and kind of non-linear in their construction and playing, execution. And so that was proved to be like one of those things as an actor just has to knuckle down and do.
Bill's job was to, which he did, you know, fantastically, was to, you know, study that horn, and he took lessons, and he'd play in front of the mirror, and he memorized every note of this, you know, very abstract, you know, kind of intense, you know, these two pieces. And he was a killer, you know, on stage. He was pretty amazing and had it down. He was, you know, a sax player. Music has to live in the story, live in the film. So there's a lot of music that's great, but it doesn't sit inside the picture.
And so start the music quiet, and then when it hits the quiet part of the music, we'll crank it up on action, okay?
David cranks the music really high. He likes to listen to every piece of music at the highest decibel possible. And you do kind of like, you know, and just the whole performance aspect of it. And take after take after take all day long, you know. It was very experiential.
He directs musically. He'll listen to certain kinds of music in one earphone while he'll listen to the scene and watch it. He already has his music picked out for different parts, and he writes music himself. So in a way, the way he directs mostly is musically. He'll say, slow it down, take your time. We'll be driving the car in the middle of the desert, and he'll say, you know, I guess you should go about, I don't know, 50. You'll know when you click into that place that feels right. And you do when you hit that, because the speedometer doesn't work or whatever, and you do feel when it's the right place.
Cut it! Good deal. Cut. Yep. We're there, man.
He's so truthful that that's what you build your trust on.
David is a filmmaker. He's the Toscanini, he's the conductor, he's got the rhythm of it, he's got the vision. And the actors follow, not like sheep, but they follow his lead like good musicians.
Cut it!
Funny how secrets travel